All right, we're here in St. Pete, Florida at Investment University Conference, joined here with Rick Rule. Rick, how's the conference been so far?
I always enjoy the Oxford Club conferences. You know, we have probably 100 Sprott clients down here. So at the same time that we're meeting new people, we're greeting old friends. So I've had a wonderful time. There's been some great speakers here. I've had the ability to visit with a lot of new people and talk to a lot of old clients and friends. So it's been fantastic for me.
Great. And what are you speaking about? What have you been speaking about?
Well, because I don't charge them to speak, they use me a lot. So I talked very generally about natural resource investing. I gave an easy speech talking about what I'm doing with my own money now. I talked about gold. I talked about private placement investing. I had a variety of topics all around themes related to gold and natural resources.
Great. Will you talk more to what you're doing with your own money?
Sure. I mean, with my own money, there's three principal themes that are of interest to me. The first is mergers and acquisitions. We're in a merger and acquisition phase in the mining business, sort of exemplified by the Barrick-Randgold merger and by the Newmont Goldcorp merger. But really, consolidation is sweeping the industry. And there's two ways to play it. The first is to buy companies that you believe are strategic to somebody else. That is, try and front-run the takeover, where you get in place and you enjoy the takeover premium. The second is longer term, but it's worked for me before. When you look at these big amalgamations, lots of assets get spun off or sold after the mergers. And an asset that might not be of value to Barrick, say a million-ounce asset, could be of tremendous value to another team. So you try and find the people who will benefit from the spin-off assets, both in terms of the spun-off properties and also the people that become available. The truth is, in the last merger and acquisition cycle that took place in the early part of the last decade, we made pretty good money buying takeover targets, and we made a lot of money backing teams that beneficiated assets that weren't germane to larger companies. So that's the first thing I'm doing. The second thing I'm doing with my own money is buying the royalty and streaming companies. The royalty and streaming business is the best part of the mining business. While operating margins on the mining side are between 10 and 15%, operating margins among the big royalty and streaming companies are 65%. And we think there's an increasing reliance on royalty and streaming transactions to fund both mine development and construction, and also mergers and acquisitions. So we believe that the growth phase in royalty and streaming is ahead of it rather than behind it. The third sector that is of interest to me is exploration, a highly risky sector. The industry has, by my reckoning, underinvested in exploration for 30 years, which means as a species, we are relying on mineral deposits for our material well-being that were discovered 40 years ago and developed 30 and 25 years ago, which is a different way of saying that we are running out of productive capacity of the stuff that allows us to live the way we live today. There is going to be, I can't tell you when, but there is going to be an enormous return to exploration, or else our material standard of living will decline substantially. If I have my choice between those two options, the one I suspect is that exploration expenditures are going to increase. So I'm doing that too.
Great. And to take advantage of this investing with you, there's a new managed account that investors can participate in.
Yeah, this is the most fun management challenge I've ever had in my life. For 40 years managing other people's money, I've had to decide what is appropriate for them. In this particular product, the only thing I have to do is manage my own money. This product is literally about what I do with my own money. So investors who want to invest alongside me open an account. If I decide I want a 5% position in consolidated XYZ, I tell the trader 5% allocation to consolidated XYZ, and every account gets populated with the same position at the same time. Clients literally trade alongside me, buying and selling simultaneously. In a sense, this is the easiest product I've ever had to manage, because the only promise I make to investors is I do with your money exactly what I do with my money at the same time for the same reason.
Excellent. A great opportunity. Thank you for joining me, Rick Rule.